And now the boot is on the other foot, because I'm going to ask you what you're doing and what that stone is on the table.
Okay, I spent an awful lot of my life living in places where it wasn't easy to have altars, and many times I haven't had them and I've just carried them around in my pocket. I might put them out in the garden or in a space that I've got. But if I feel I do want something around me that I don't particularly want to draw attention to, and in particular I'm talking about the north, south, east and west, the directions, the elements, earth, water, fire and air, and above and below and within.
And they relate to the seasons, yeah?
And they relate to the seasons. So if I'm celebrating or focusing on the north, it's winter. I might just put a stone as close as I can to the north.
Because of course people just collect stones and leave them.
Yeah, I'm just a big kid at heart. This particular stone, it's an old one. I might use a more ornate one if I've got one. If I'm focusing on the west and I don't want to use a bowl of water because I'm going to knock it off or it might be inappropriate, I put shells.
Because west symbolises water.
Water.
Yes.
And love.
And love.
So I might put something representing that as well there. Now the next one is an easy one. This is east, which is air. And I used to have a real penchant for collecting feathers.
Oh yes, they're lovely.
Yeah. And so having that in the east, no one even bats an eyelid.
No.
Most people actually come and talk about what the birds are,
Yeah.
which is great because I always forget. And then the last one that's an element. What have we done? Oh, fire. Sorry, we haven't done fire. And there's a reason we haven't done fire, because you've seen what you can use for fire.
A candle.
You can use a candle or anything. I mean, sometimes here it's simply the hearth, which is now getting a bit weak. So the seasons, and they're easy too. There's the time of autumn. I might just chuck a few acorns
Oh yes.
in a dish.
Yeah.
Or, now these are great from florists. And I would put these in a vase, but I keep them like this.
Can we see the top
so I
of
look
them?
after them. Okay? Can you see what it is?
Sideways, yeah.
Yeah. I got this from a florist in Glastonbury. I work
It's
something autumny for Lammas.
It's grain. Yeah.
Yes, for Lunasa or harvest.
So would you put those in a vase because they
I
kind
would
of
just
blend
put those in a
in?
vase. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, people come and talk about it in a nice way. No one says, "Ooh, what have you got a load of wheat in your room for?"
No.
And because it's in a corner, because I would tend to put this, the equivalent of the south-west, that's fine. And eventually, it's not hard to put altars in all sorts of places. I put them in the garden, and sometimes there are things I'm working with that I can't always remember, or I just simply haven't got time. I might not be going home for some reason. So I will have my altar in my pocket, just like the Romans did. And in fact, if you watch Old Time Team, you'll see them showing little shrines and all sorts of things that people used to carry and put out wherever you are. And you can make them as dinky as you want, but it's the same thing. It all stands for the same. One acorn is enough to focus on nature.
I mean, I think it's quite a good altar to have, isn't it? The idea of the directions, the elements and the seasons, because they're all part of the same four things, you know, four directions, four seasons, four elements, because it helps us get in touch with our own life cycle. So this is another common altar to do, and a very good one.
Yeah, and I'll show you one other altar that I do. It's again very, very simple.
Okay, this next altar, I've had to change what I'm saying in it simply because it was too blurry. Sometimes you know that you're working with compassion and communion. Particularly I focus on love in the West. And sometimes you need to bring it into the home more. You might have something that's difficult going on, or people coming in. You know, somebody who maybe isn't well, or issues might arise. And this is where you're working with an altar in a slightly different way to the way we've previously described. Because the West, for me, focuses all that energies of love, compassion, and just being open to that in the reality of a situation. And so that's here I'm using a candle holder that someone gave me at the Virgin Mary. But that's what I light every time when something's happening. It might not actually be in the room that I'm in, but that's what we do.
Okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.